today we have Sandra Lee, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She loves to talk about freedom from pain and what your body is trying to tell you. And I'm super excited to hear what she has to say. She is a goal-oriented woman who was experiencing pain, or she's looking for that goal-oriented woman who is experiencing pain. She's not really accomplishing much, not reaching her goals. So let's dive right in. Sandra, thank you for coming today. I would love to hear a little bit about you and your story and how you started to do what you do.
I have been working on building a business here pretty intensively for a couple of years online, transitioning from massage to, online stuff. And I was finding myself unsuccessful. And I hired a bunch of really expensive coaches, big programs, and I wasn't doing the work. Can you relate to that at all?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And listening and trying to do what they told me to do because these are experts, right? And
Mhm.
they were telling me that what I needed to do was business. I need to sell. I can help you make money. The truth is, I'm a healer. I am not a business coach. And I struggled and I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. And I wasn't doing the work. My mindset, my beliefs were blocking me.
Mhm.
So earlier this year, I finally said, you know what? I'm not a business coach. I'm going to go back to helping people get freedom from pain. But I still have these limitations, these beliefs that are in my way. And I know where this came from. When I was a baby, when I was 6 months old, my parents left me for 3 days with an aunt and uncle. And I thought my mother's not coming back. I panicked. I freaked out. I gave up. I tried everything that I could. And I said, I have to take care of myself. So I knew that this was at the bottom of all of these behaviors that were stopping me. Panic, overwhelm, freak out, I don't know how, give up, all of these patterns. I knew this was from being 6 months old. And I have been working on healing this for a long time, and it's getting better. But I was in an advanced NLP training last week.
Mhm.
And the person who I was working with helped me have a conversation with my mother, like a real deep conversation with my mother. What I needed to hear from you. This is what I need you to hear me, and to allow myself to be held. And I was sobbing, the baby voice, all of that stuff. And then it kind of all emptied out and I got calm. And all of the panic and all of that stuff is gone. I don't have to hold myself back from being seen anymore.
Mhm.
And my own pain went away. It was a huge thing. So, what is it that stops you, the viewer, from being the person you want to be, getting what it is you want to accomplish? Realizing that there is probably a child self in there. I've always said my inner 6-year-old pulls the circuit breakers and shuts me down anytime I have something to do that I don't know how to do. At that time, I didn't know that it was a 6-month-old, not just a 6-year-old.
Mhm.
But each of us has these things from the past that are holding us back. And it's possible to actually heal that part of yourself and find freedom.
That is so beautiful. One of the best coaches I've ever observed would go there and she would say, the person, I was at a group coaching situation and she would look at her and she'd go, how old are you right now?
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the driver's seat? You
Yes.
may be 56, like I'm 56, but that 6-month-old self that was driving you, and it's so powerful that we do have to go back in order to move forward.
Yeah. This is what I say, right? So it's like we're in this adult environment,
Hmm.
right? And here I am being an adult, and here you are, Darla, being adult,
Hmm.
making the assumption that there's two adults here.
Right.
When really, in all of our interactions, There's a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old or a 4-year-old. And anytime someone's behavior or what they say doesn't really make sense, there's a reason for it. There's
Mm-hmm.
a child over there pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go into our interactions with that understanding, it enables us to find our way through things a little more easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. I still have chronic pain from it started after I got out of my abusive marriage. And while it has gotten better, I do know that there's more things that I am working out within myself. My dreams
Hmm.
have certainly gotten really intense lately, so I know something is going on.
Processing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it does. It's interesting. I was watching a show last night and I flashed back to something that happened to my brother and sister when I was probably 8 or 9. And I don't know why I even got emotional. They were the ones in the hospital sick, and I was at home fine. But something about that visual of the hospital bed and the child, I had this memory and like, ooh, what is that? What is going on? What is the connection and why is it upsetting me now?
Did you get an answer?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah,
But
but it's
that is
there.
it's there and
Yeah,
it's
it's there.
something to really sit with. The only thing I could think of is that like my mom was super neglectful, in many ways to all of us. And the reasons that my brother and sister got terribly ill and ended up severely dehydrated and actually dangerously ill is because she neglected to take care of them and take them to the
Mm,
doctor or notice the signs of the dehydration in the beginning. So maybe there was some like maybe resentment there or something, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take the example that you just gave
Okay.
and use it as a way to help people understand.
Hmm.
So it's possible that just with your awareness and your having that inquiry, that you
Hmm.
really will be able to find the root of the issue and resolve it yourself.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, wonderful.
Hmm.
It's also possible that the information is unconscious, is so deep that you
Yeah.
might not be able to come up with it by yourself.
Right.
And that having someone facilitate for you, like the person who walked me through this conversation with my mother, because I've
Hmm.
known about these things with my mother for, 30 years,
Hmm.
but we can't do it all alone.
Right.
Our unconscious mind is not conscious. I don't know on an awareness level what's all in there. There's pieces that I can't see by myself.
Hmm.
So being guided by someone else allows my unconscious mind to go places that I
Yep.
might not be able to go purely on my own.
Yep.
So for those of you watching, if you're in a situation similar to what Darla describes, I was like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
And you're not able to access the information purely on your own, getting support and help might make a really big difference.
And if you let's say, if someone came to you and they had something like that that was deep that they couldn't quite figure out, how do you kind of walk them through them and help them with that?
Well, it would involve, getting to know them a little bit. This is
Of
not like the
course.
first conversation we had.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, but in doing NLP, neuro linguistic programming,
Hmm.
right? You're just kind of in this place of rapport with the person so that they know that I am safe
Hmm.
and creating a space within which they are able to go in. And, the first questions to ask are, so when you think about this situation, what thoughts and emotions do you have?
Hmm.
So if I were talking with you and we were talking about this situation, I would
Yeah.
say, what thoughts and emotions come up for you around that? And that's the
Yeah.
first level. And
Okay.
then we take what comes out, and I was like, so what's with that? And
Hmm.
what's with that? And what's with,
Hmm.
so that we go below your conscious level and you feel safe enough that your
Hmm.
unconscious mind can actually go in deeper and find the real pain point, the piece of information that
Okay.
is what you really need. And, asking questions like, what did you need that you didn't get? And what did you give up about who you are? Those kinds of questions, that's where the real juice is.
Yeah.
So to take that situation and, and then go those deeper levels until you get to, oh, that's what makes sense.
Hmm. That makes so much sense because there's that source, and you said this earlier, you don't see it for yourself. I'm too close to it, right? And so um really getting down to what was really driving it, because that's what caused that strong reaction last night was
Yes.
that, right?
So the unconscious mind has priorities. It's
Mm-hmm.
got a job to do. And its primary job is protecting you and keeping you safe.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happened, childhood, okay, where it wasn't safe, your unconscious mind takes it and it buries it.
Mm.
That's not safe for you to be thinking about. It's dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it buries it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's not able to be processed, your unconscious mind buries it, under the assumption that at some point you're going to be safe enough that your unconscious mind can pull that stuff out of hiding
Yep.
and show it to you. And one way of looking at it, you've heard the term you create your reality,
Yes.
right? So everything in your experience, both positive and not positive, is projected. Your unconscious mind is taking your unconscious material and projecting it onto the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see wonderful things that make you happy, it's like, oh, I'm projecting positive things. But anything that's challenging, anybody is annoying, that makes you angry, that makes you impatient, that's all your unconscious mind saying, oop, look at this. Take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's calling for your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that memory that came up is like, oh, so what is it about that my unconscious mind is trying to get me to see?
Yes.
Thank you, unconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you resolve it, you've taken that insight here and you don't need to project it on the world anymore.
Right. That makes perfect sense. And I also think that our minds, I had a lot of repressed memories that started to resurface a few years ago. And I feel like they didn't surface till my late 40s because I wasn't ready to face them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you start somewhere.
Yeah. Right. And
They
there's,
started coming up, and so you started working with them, and now
mm-hmm.
more comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So before I was in my 20s, I had zero memories of my childhood. Zero.
Yeah.
And then when I was in craniosacral session, this memory started coming up, and I asked my mother about it, and she knew exactly what I was talking about. She told me about the 6-month thing because I had no memory of it other than,
Mm-hmm.
this memory of lying there looking at the ceiling, a white
Yeah.
ceiling, and crying for my mother, right? And after I started opening, then more started coming,
Mm-hmm.
and then more started coming. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a process of healing when you're able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Did you find that any came in your dreams as well as the waking moments?
I don't remember my dreams. And this has
Ah,
always been just it's like, a frustration.
right.
I don't ever remember my dreams. I wish I did.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be a time where I do enough healing where suddenly whatever's blocking that, because that's
Mm-hmm.
my assumption, that there is
Yeah.
something that my unconscious mind says is so unsafe that I don't remember my dreams.
That would make sense. It sounds to me like if you didn't have any memories at all for a very long time, that there's something there that is processing still in the background, or it's
Yeah.
on hold and it's under lock and key, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since it was just last week that I resolved that 6-month memory,
right.
I am hoping that, the dreams are actually going to become more available. That's me crossing my fingers.
Hmm. If someone is like kind of on they're kind of intrigued by our conversation and they're like, I wonder what's under the hood for me and how can I work through that? What's the best way to start?
I have a free gift that they can get.
Hmm.
9 pain management secrets, and it's an email sequence. And then I'd love to talk with them. So
Yeah.
to get the 9 pain management secrets, you go to shinewithsandra.com/pain. And, they can connect with me. And I have a free Freedom from Pain action plan call that they can have with me.
Oh, that's perfect. Because I was going to ask you in a few minutes how they can reach you. Now now they know. If I'm just curious too, if is do you have any like is if we have pain in certain areas of our body, is that also a tell of what's going on inside?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, a really common area where people have pain is their neck.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think of this as being barriers to self expression,
Hmm.
to being heard. Super, super, super common.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's like if you have issues with your eyes, what is it you're not willing to see? If you have issues with your ears, what are you not willing to hear?
Hmm.
Body, lower back, safety, security, danger,
Mhm.
money, all every area of the body I see as having issues associated with it that can relate to the pain that you may be experiencing.
Wow.
And when I'm working with people, their bodies talk to me. So I get information about what may be related to an area when I am working with somebody. I'm
Okay.
intuitive and I work with
Good.
sound. And so when I'm using, the tuning fork and the hockey puck, it
Ah,
shows me in the area of the body where something is going on.
oh, that's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
I've never done any tuning fork work. I've done like sound baths and Reiki and, of course, the massage that you referred to earlier. But that, can you tell a little? I'm kind of intrigued now. Can you tell a little bit how that works?
Yeah. So I like empowering people to be able to help themselves.
Hmm.
And one of the areas where I seem to have a lot of effect with people is with headaches, migraines, head injuries, and things like that. And I love helping people understand the anatomy and the physiology so that they understand what's going on in their body. And when they have a headache at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're not calling me,
No.
right? I want them to know how they can find where the area is stuck, because usually it's stuck in their head, and allowing the movement in their body on their own
Okay.
so that they can help themselves.
Yeah.
So, me explaining about what's going on with the anatomy, the physical, and where the energy gets stuck gives them something they can do to be able to help themselves.
I love I love that because, well, not only do you not want them contacting you at 2 in the morning, it's also a way for them to self-soothe, to self-investigate, and that probably actually accelerates the healing process,
Oh,
makes it a little bit
absolutely.
easier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my current clients, okay, she had a headache every day for 13 months. When she woke up, the only thing she knew for sure was that she was going to have a headache today.
Hmm.
I started working with her, and in our first session, we did that tuning fork stuff,
Yeah.
and I got us all moving, and her headache was gone by the end of the session. She had 3 days without a headache. Totally changed her life because it's like go from hopeless, what do I do? This is going to be forever kind of thing to, oh, this can actually be changed.
Hmm.
But then the headaches come back.
Hmm.
So now we're doing NLP and find out why is it you have pain in the first place?
Hmm.
And so she's able to do the things that I showed her, and we're in a conversation with her body. What is the message here? What's your body trying to get you to pay attention to?
Hmm.
And now that she no longer has headaches all the time, she has them some, but not all the time. Her energy is back. She's more excited about her dreams again. She's actually moving forward into relationships because her whole life is coming back to being available to her
Yeah.
because she no longer feels like, ugh, what's the point? I just have this pain all the time. And so when you're getting the message that the body is trying to give you, so much more freedom is available.
Yeah. While I don't deal with pain specifically, I'm trained in somatics, so I help women with like tightness of the throat I'm not heard. My
Yes.
chests will feel tight when I'm really stressed, but it'll tingle when something good is happening. And I've learned to tune into that. And that really, in the past year, has really helped with my own. And, you
Hmm.
talk about, I haven't had time because this happened just last night, but, you know, that experience with the hospital bed really, when I have a while just to be quiet and get in tune with what body sensation I'm having, that actually might be the clue too that leads back to the past experience.
Absolutely. It's
Hmm.
wonderful that you're paying attention
Hmm.
and you're giving your body what it needs
Hmm.
because it's just calling for attention. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, all right, what's the message? And when you get the message, the signal doesn't need to be there anymore.
Right, right. As we start to wrap up, is there anything I haven't asked you that you'd like to share?
Here's what comes up to say. One of the first things I have people do is I have them do what I call ground. Because we get into this stress and everything is crazy.
Hmm.
So allow yourself to feel the earth below your feet or
Hmm.
below your seat and draw energy up from the earth into your body. And then allow it to go out the top of your head, connecting you to Source and to God.
Yeah.
And just feel how that changes things. You become more present. And then bring energy down from God, universe, and Source and connecting to the earth. And that's what I call being grounded.
Mm. Yeah.
And that alone changes so much.
Yes.
And anybody can do that anytime.
I love that. It's just a simple thing. Like I'm barefoot right now. I'm often bare and I hate shoes. And I think that's why, that's the nice thing about working at home. I don't have to worry about that. But it does kind of feel the floor. I like putting my feet in grass. There's just something about that cool grass on a hot summer day feeling that
Mm-hmm.
just, yep, yep. This has been a great conversation. Sandra, I'm so glad that you were able to come today. I've just been fascinated by what you said. I love the sound of that tuning fork. There's just something really calming about that, by the way.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we will put in the show notes your contact information that you mentioned earlier, so that way if anyone is interested in contacting you or, getting your free gift, they can do that.